Uyabona ukuthi uBosherol cabanga ungamazi ne bese une dating. Akutshela zonke lento ngayo. Yo vele uthi
Would that scare you off?
Yeah.
Really?
Difficult nento ebhaya jo. Ngathi bicycle laMandebela. Nento iningi ozidingayo wena. Yo, I want ngikhulumise masingakhulumisani. Izona lezo. Ngikhulumisa kanjani singakhulumisani? Asikhulumisani.
Besikhuluma manje uthi there's no such thing as a healthy relationship.
Ayikho vele.
Washo njalo Petla?
Ayikho organization enabantu healthy. Phela mina mawuthi healthy, I think you meaning 100%.
No. When we talk about healthy, we're talking about a relationship where two people are able to get through their problems and they have found a system that works for them. You know, I think what's important in a healthy relationship is you are able to communicate first and foremost. And it's very important to find a partner who aligns with the vision that you have for your life. That is how we get to healthy relationships. It's when we want to stick to people that we don't have the same principles, we don't agree on what we want to do with our lives, that we start to develop unhealthy habits, which then result in unhealthy relationships.
I mean, as long as kuzoba nama disagreements, Sharon, that on its own says equal healthy land.
But
it can never be perfect.
That's not, being in a healthy relationship doesn't mean it's perfect. Being a healthy individual in terms of physique, let's just say, doesn't mean that everything is working and is 100%. Healthy is relative to my heart is pumping, I'm healthy, I'm the correct weight. You may have a few issues here and there, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you still are healthy as an individual.
I'll go ahead. You just said, so I'll go ahead.
So, Peter, there's a spectrum. You can't just say just because we have disagreements, it's unhealthy. If we have disagreements, how do we go about handling those disagreements? That is what creates a healthy relationship. If now we argue and how we go about dealing with it is that for 5 days as kulumisani, that is unhealthy.
But it happens. Ikona leyo nto ku relationship. At the end of the day, kona la ngene khuluma. It might not be 5 days, mara kona one day la. Yazi uhlala nomuntu akusipa papa nenyama. Uyavuka ngakukhulumisa ungayenzanga next. Umbuzo uthi namhlanje akuna next. Uyazibuza ukuthi lo muntu akekho happy or kwenzakalani.
Mara umuntu akuyamaza ngithi. People have moments. I mean, I wake up and I am in a mood. It happens. I'm human. I'll snap out of it.
Futhi thina basikhulumisa every weekend. Ngoba Friday setshwaleni, Saturday setshwaleni, Sunday la uhlala khona. Yeah, ungenzeli favor. Sunday ngoba unepapalazi la mara ngihleli musi. Ngithi mara mawungena kulento. Bowazi ukuthi bila weekend ngiyahlaba, weekend dlala lama out. So after 6 months I don't like this. Ungenowazi ukuthi ngiso.
Yeah, Marakiri people are prone to change their minds. There are certain things.
Ungazo-change my mind ngami. Change ngento zakho. Hayi ngami.
But if ngiyakubona ukuthi ngizovuma because I'm thinking okay maybe it's not going to be a serious relationship, but once ngibona ukuthi no man this guy is serious ngaye. I would like him to adjust a few things. I'll adjust a few things. The partying every weekend doesn't allow us to have time together to build our relationship. Those are things that I would discuss with you. I know that mangingena bengazi ukuthi weekend so but
manje
I bengicela ukuthi can we at least one day out of that weekend spend some time together. Maybe that's how we should go about it instead of saying ukuthi when manje uyaphuza. I knew that going in, but have a discussion with him about how iphatha kanjani and how we can move forward from it. That's healthy relationships.
Ngengathola enye cherry yabona sometimes asithi uhlukene nomuntu wakho yabo you like fuck it ngithola umuntu omusha thola le cherry inhle kanjani ijiva every weekend ukhuluma nayo Friday ngo1 minute hi yozi kuphendule Sunday ngathi ayo angeke.
You know, you made a decision for yourself that was a red flag for you. So when you talk about healthy relationships, we talk about the green flags. What is someone doing that entices me to be with that person? What is that person doing that makes me want to continue a relationship with them? What are my go-to points for a partner? When you were able to identify a red flag very quick, or no.
Namanje ngihlale ngisingle and lento kuba single nayo ngiyanizwa Cheryl niyakhuluma I'm single and happy. There's no such. You can't be happy single. Yazi ma usingle ifone yakho ayisebenza abakwa WhatsApp na ku Facebook yathula nale favors inbox ma usingle angazwa yazi
single and happy is possible. It is a thing,
Yes,
and
yes.
I am an example of single and happy.
Awukho
Single and happy does not. Yes,
Awukho
I'm happy, I'm content. But being single and being happy and being content does not mean that I don't want to be with someone.
kusho ukuthi awukho happy.
It means I'm happy, but would I prefer to be in a partnership? Would I prefer to have a companion? Absolutely. It's a preference, it's not a need.
Ayikuyinith.
No,
ayikuyinith. Manje wena ungazothi using and kumnandi phela mawunomuntu niyakhona uyamtshela inkinga zakho, so how was your day? Umchazele.
Ngitshela abangani bami inkinga zami Betla. Namhlanje,
it was wrong. It's not the same though. It's not the same. I
agree. It's not the same. But having a partner for me is what I would like to have. Not having one doesn't take away from the quality of my life. It doesn't mean that I am less than. It doesn't mean that I'm unhappy. It just means that at this point in my life, I'm not with someone.
Mina ngikhona ukuba single.
Siyazi Betla. Siyazi.
Ayakhona
busy.
Be single, I never.
What's wrong with being single?
Yeah, impilo yabhora ma usingle Sharon. Akuna attention, akunamuntu okunika attention.
So is there ever a time Betla where you're just single? I mean, it sounds like when you hop from one relationship to the next, akuna break.
I can't. Ngifuna umuntu so ngizoba nabantu abayi4 or 5, ngichethe nabo. Eventually one uzozikhipha ukuthi hayi lo sharp. But akunakhona kule 5 akusho ukuthi ngidala nabo bonke. Abanye babo umunye akafuni uzokutshela ukuthi no asijoli. And angeke vele uthi asijola angisho kwakamazi.
Yeah.
So abanye hayi ukuthi ulala nabo. And kaningi owinayo ulo wala ngomlalo. Because you don't want image chero elula easy. Ayifuneki ichero njalo.
I've always thought that this thing of hopping from one relationship to the next is unhealthy because you haven't had an opportunity to deal with whatever issues led to the breakup in the first relationship, right?
Yeah.
So I always think that you take whatever issues you had in your first relationship and you bring them into a new one. And I think that's where most problems occur is I haven't dealt with the trauma of my previous relationship. I haven't dealt with why it fell apart. I haven't dealt with the contribution that I brought to that relationship for it to fall apart. And here I am going into a new relationship with someone who's new, someone who actually may want to build a future with me. And then I subject them to the same treatment as the first one.
So when ufuna umuntu makaphuma ku relationship ahlale isikhathi singakanani before ngena kwenye?
I don't think it's a time thing. It's more of a healing is a process. So healing can take forever. But I think what is important is to take the first step of healing.
Phela hayi ukuthi uphuma ku relationship ngoba kufanele uhile. Sometimes awuphumela ukuthi ngoba kufanele uhile. Awuphumi ngoba inhliziyo yakhe ibhlungu.
Uphumelani?
Uphuma ngoba maybe leyo muntu yena asithi ukhethile ukuthi uyaphuma lapho. How is it that inhliziyo yakhe ibhlungu kuwothe uyaphuma?
Uyaphuma because you've seen that relationship is not bringing you what you want. But people often leave relationships still very much in love with the person that they're leaving.
Mina ngeke ngihambe ngisakuthanda.
Why?
Ngiyokuthondo. Mina ngeke ngiyenze lo nto sholo.
It's not enough.
Mina ngeke ngikulahle ngisakuthanda. Ngeke ngizovumela lelanga if siyahlukana wena uthi awusangifuni ngizoloku ngincenga ngizoze ngingasakuthandi ngililanga. Angeke ngikeke mina mangisakuthanda ngiyakutshela uthi hlukene asenjwe ne-SMS ngithi I love you.
But really
kusendela mina. Kusendela I love you. Angeke mina angiyenzi lo nto. Anginayo lento ukuthi awuzothini. Akunandaba zisho uyi1. I'll send you a text ukuthi I love you.
Utshela abantu ukuthi I love you.
Usangithanda akunandaba mina. Akunandaba mina sholo.
So what I've realized is the relationships that I have left, there was one where I emotionally detached from it before actually physically leaving. And that is what a lot of women do. Okay. Emotionally, we work on getting ourselves out, not investing in the person. Then 6 months down the line, when you think that Mina now is right, I'm like, Pega, my brother. Right now.
Yeah, I was cold enhliziyo. Abakutshela. Uyenza kanjani into? Uhlala kanjani nomuntu wena usendleleni ephumayo? Yena uyaplana ngawo uthi yabona December immediate. So wena kanti awuthi June lo? June?
Look, these are my issues regarding our relationship. Can we work on them? This is what I need from this relationship. Can we work on them? You're not working on them with me, right? But you still expect things to continue as normal.
Yeah,
right?
Ungangihlalisi.
No, so Nami, at that point, I'm working on myself, but I'm working to get out of the relationship. So in that space, I am being selfish.
So nathi masingayenza kanjalo Cheryl sithathe ngibe ne-chair eside nokuthi one day mayingaphela le at least ngisecure.
But that's a different.
Iyafana nawuhle phela wena shoot awukho kule relationship you just umele nje ukuthi le ubhodle ngelilanga ukuthi yeah today is the day.
Ngkhona ku that relationship, but what I'm saying is when I make a decision that I am going to leave, I don't leave immediately because my healing process is very different. I heal whilst in the relationship. Many times about what I need.
So ushuthi kuleyo 6 months mhlambe oloku umele ukuheala kuyo ngenzeka uchange my mind uthi hayi ithi ngihlale
no
angeke
once I'm done I'm done.
Okay.
It's important, and that's why I say I heal while in the relationship so that I don't do the going back and forth. I don't want to do.
Awukwazi ubuyisele ex?
No.
Unenhliziyo ebona.
No. Someone that I've been in a relationship with and I have left them, I haven't gone back.
Hayi mina.
It's because that's the thing about relationships. Once I make a decision, and I think a lot of people aren't able to do that about a certain person and the fact that what they bring into my life doesn't serve me, I then decide that I no longer want you to sit at that table with me. And once I remove you, I remove you.
Yeah, yikuthatha isikhathi ukujola nomunye umuntu. Yazi thina mina nginokuthi ngithi ngiqala i-relationship entsha. Ngibone lo muntu a bad ukudlula lo engibuya kuyo. Bese ngithi
Ngiyele move.
Ukhethela ekhaya. Awusuchaba. Kuchiya balance. Hawa. Ngiyabona ukuthi la, ayashisa la. Manje wena mawubheka umuntu lo muntu obonayo uyabona ukuthi mara akekho bad yazi. This one chicken enginomntwana naye. Futhi anginasho. Wangithitela yabo. Hayi ngamthola ukuthi uyajola. Sahlala phansi sayilungisa. Azange relationship ifane nje. Azange mangimele ngiheavy sex naye bekuyispan because makakhala I would think of that guy yabo azange ispan nje angenzela yonke into azange nika nemoto mara ngathi angeke asiyeke azange ngumforgive last year.
So for you, her cheating on you was one of your no-go zones.
Futhi yabona mangingathola ukuthi ulale naye and it came to that because ngamlanda khabo lentwana. So ngamlanda khabo lentwana ngimfuna kiba ngekho ngathola unyithira ngitshela ukuthi hayi bangani ngaya cabanga kisho ngilona lentwana ngamlahla wabuya wazoncenga mina futhi ngathi asilami it wasn't working out Cheryl. Everything akangabamba ifoni bengithi yojola wena
that was channel
TV ngithi yikuthi channel yajola ngisho so bengekho la
that was an unhealthy relationship, and you would have become the unhealthy partner.
Yeah.
You would have become the guy now who is insecure. You're always questioning where she is. You are that partner who doesn't forgive.
And thina mawuthi ke ngihamba ngiyojola ke amampela mina ke. Mawungibuza ngithi no uyenzile musi. Mangiyenza mina ku wrong. And vele ngajola ke. Ngajola wathola waba idrama engakana ngana nendaba ngithi nawe uyajola. Masiyeke. Namhla till this day makangangirasela ngimtshela ngento hayi wena wangijolele wena oy
uthe you forgave last year mus
hayi futhi njengoba ngikhuluma ngayo iyavuka ngiyayizwa sebhlungu elento kutshela 2010 isangihlaba namhlanje.
Yeah, well, you haven't healed, but you need to heal in order for you to get into a new relationship that's going to be healthy. Aye, babe. You can't be talking about something at 2010. We couldn't with such passion.
Jay, wangchitela lo muntu.
13 years.
Wangchitela.
You know, when it comes to relationships and toxicity, it's things like not being able to communicate the way that results in relationships being toxic. You wouldn't stay with someone who cheats with you, but then you just decided you wanted to stay, but you became toxic yourself because You'd question where she is. You would everything that she did, you would relate back to her cheating. So that relationship became toxic. No, not because of what she had done, but how you were reacting to what she had done. And I think that sometimes people don't look at it that way. Yes, if I choose to stay after someone cheats on me, then it means that I'm making a decision that I'm going to forgive that person. And then I can't hold that person ransom for the rest of their life because of the mistake that they made.
Yeah, no.
So, if you're going to do that, then instead of putting someone through that. People relationship hop because they are not used to sitting with themselves. Like sitting with yourself, having to reflect, having to do a lot of inner work is work, and people don't want to do that. People don't want to look at themselves and say, for this relationship to fail. For this relationship to fail. Because having to hold yourself accountable is something that many of us aren't able to do.
Yeah, especially in abafazi. Angazi ingane lento. Anikhona ukuthi ni wrong or sorry. Angazi yazi abantu engibamitayo bakho. Umuntu wena uqala
ubamitayo Petla, ubamita kuphi. That's why they can't hold themselves accountable.
Wena wonke umuntu omaziyo wentombazana uyakhona ukuthi sorry.
Guys, the circle that I have is the kind of women that are able to account for
Maran Joel account for yini ningaJoel. Accountant.
We ask Jolie because we just don't agree to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Ask Jolie because we expect men to have a certain standard. Ask Jolie because we expect you to be a certain way in order for you to have a seat at our table. Not everyone is allowed access to me. Not everyone is allowed access to Abangan Mom. You need to earn your place in my life. Do you think would you identify yourself as a toxic partner? Or
yeah, sometimes. Yeah. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I am.
But you said so much. You've spoken so much about perfection that I think that maybe that's not what we should strive towards. We can't. We may strive towards perfection, but we'll never achieve it. Yeah, we'll never achieve perfection. We could be the best versions of ourselves. Do you think that you are that in relationships?
Yeah, I'm a good lover. Must right. I'm a good lover.
Mani wrong?
I must be wrong. I'm a bad lover. It's wrong. Why must I be good? It's wrong.
The other day, and we were saying
Yes.
The other day, and we were saying that some of the things that make relationships toxic is the fact that when we're not in a good space, we then don't do the things that we'd normally do when we are in a healthy space. So if Ujailung Fonela in the early hours of the morning, 8 o'clock, even when we're not in the greatest of space, that normality must continue.
It can't.
It should. And I think that's what maturity is. As much as if we're not okay, calling and saying, hi, morning, have a good day. We need not have a lengthy conversation, right? But let us maintain what has made the relationship stable until then.
Pride. I want pride.
Pride has been the downfall of many men.
Yeah, into abafazi mawungamenza kanjalo ne. Phela nakwata kancane. So sometimes umuntu ufuna ukumiyeka ukuthi haya uzoba right, uzozipholela. So mawuloku ubuya umncenga unalento ukuthi angiyamazi uzofona. So into esingayifuni leyo.
But it's about having a partner that you're compatible with. Again, if you have someone you are compatible with and someone who understands that even when we are not okay, I still want to maintain an open line of communication. There's no way that we would default on that because you and I are agreeing on the same thing. So there's no pride there. There's just, even when we're not okay, even when we are not at the best place, if ekseni ngivulela amanzi, then continue to do it. Why then must I now wake up at 5 o'clock and start opening the water for me as if mina now is Trigene? You are still in the same bed that we share. You are still in the same house. Why can't we still maintain that and still work towards fixing inkinga zethu?
Yeah, kukhulula ngalendlela. Yabo lento ikhuluma yinhle siyayibonga mara yenzakala she. Ayikho.
We must work towards it. It's work. It's work.
Yeah, ngazama ukumtshela umuntu ukuthi yazini bengicela ukuthi njalo noma sicabene sichubeke siphathane kahle mara sicabene umphatha kanjani umuntu okukwatisa uphatha kahle kanjani umuntu okukwatisa
so masicabene I shouldn't cook for you masicabene I
now uzolamba you're not cooking for me.
Okay, that's where I'm saying we're maintaining what is normal. If ngiza endlini ngiphethe i-takeaway, does that mean that masicabene I shouldn't bring you anything?
Manicabene abakuphakeli bayapheka baphakela abantwana noma uthi afike kuseli iphiko awungitshela ubaba umuzi adla iphiko. hayi zabuya emshadweni emtholweni hayi zabuya nje and awukhona uhlala uyi-one enye into ake ngikhona mina ukuhlala ngiyi-one.
I may not like you in that moment, but I still love you.
Yeah.
And that is what we need to hold on to, is that I may not like the person that you are, Mascabene, but I still love you enough to maintain and the stability of a healthy relationship, even in a dispute. Because a dispute does not mean that our relationship is unhealthy. A dispute just means that you and I are at a place where we need to have a meeting of minds. How do we get there? So if you are unable to maintain the things that make us who we are as a couple, then how are we going to move forward? If we're going 8 when you usually go, how are we going to move forward?
I get, but you guys actually did talk about the toxicity of things, right? Wuti, when you in that similar predicament, where do you draw the line to toxicness? Like when you're in that moment of we need to work on each other. I don't like you, but I love you. That's borderline in the box of being toxic, if you think about it.
So when we're in that space, I think what leads to the toxicity is when we start doing things out of spite. In relationships, what leads to the toxicity is wanting to show the other one up. Okay, 2 days I'm 5 days I'm That is what leads to the toxicity. So what is important is we don't do that. When you're in a relationship, it's not about spite. It's about anticipating your partner, their feelings, their needs, and working towards that.
Yazi buhlungu kanjani Sherol uthi wena yazi ngithi ngikhulumisa umuntu wami lo bese yena angakhulumi still after 3 days uthi mara kufanele wenzeni. And let's catch nabo 4 years ninonke awukhona ukumlahla nje nanabantwana uthi so awusazi or manje uye phambili or uye emuva. That's how ugcine seniphela iviki ningakhulumisana.
Yeah, but if you've been in a relationship nomuntu for 4 years and Mawkwati still in the first year and she behaves like that, then that's a red flag. That's a red flag. Yeah, first year, second year, better, because that would not have been your first argument.
Udlale ngonyaka wonke ukuthi siyeke 12 months long.
Better a year than a year and 1 day. And that's what I always tell people. It's better to leave a relationship in 12 months than in 12 months and a day. Get yourself out. There's nothing wrong with leaving what doesn't serve you. There's nothing wrong with choosing yourself. And a lot of people don't choose self. You'd swear that you don't love yourself. How can you love someone else more than you love yourself? It doesn't make sense.
Uchili Jake suke wathi singabantu sinokusho ukuthi ngabe le family yakho ama relatives akusi family yakho ngoba bayabheda bayenzani bese the one time where we have a choice yokukhetha umuntu bese ukhetha umuntu wrong futhi so ubani inkinga kahle.
You are the problem. Clearly you are the problem. A partner is just that. You are choosing this individual, guys. And if this person doesn't bring you what you want, if this person and there was a video of a girl saying, if I go to a specific supermarket and they're not serving what I want, I'm not going to stay at that supermarket. I'm going to move over to a new one.
Wow, ubhale nge-hangout. Share ubhale enye article ngakalana nge-hangout ku Facebook. Akhalela ama-ice ne-coke. Imadoda.
Bese bengakhalela ama-ice. Why are you very off topic?
No, ikhuluma ngokuserve you. My serve you. Your relationship now, it's between you and Hangout.
That relationship between me and Hangout is a relationship that
when I'm a restaurant, yeah, toxic.
I must look into myself.
Speak to self.
Speak to self. What do I need to change? No, that establishment needs some work. Work needs to be done with that. The owner needs to do some introspection. Like we would in relationships, and he needs to start taking us seriously because he doesn't. Guys, you can't walk into an establishment and they just don't have ice. You're telling me that the managers there didn't do some stock taking? They didn't see. You didn't see with the Coke Yapel. You didn't see that the specific alcohol that I ordered is stale. So what are they doing? You know, 3 things in one night. Oh, guys.
I think Abo Sharon, Namontoman, but difficult. That's my opinion. It's difficult, Sharon.
How is difficult, Peter?
Hangout. I have an ice. It's in my side. I'm a pile. bhekani umzala kodwa mina ngihe ngathi bathi akuna in awukazi ngibona ngithi I'm writing this yeah
No.
uyabona ukuthi uSharon cabanga ungamazi ne bese une dating akutshela zonke lento ngayo yo vele uthi
Would that scare you off?
yeah
Really?
difficult nento ibhaya jo ngathi bicycle lamandebela nento iningi uzidingayo wena yo I want ngikhulumise masingakhulumisani izona lezo ngikhulumisa kanjani singakhulumisani asikhulumisani
So that is why I realized that it's going to take us a different kind of man to come into my life and to deal with a woman like me, because I'm not difficult.
Yeah, no.
There are just certain things that I expect, the certain requirements that I have, and I genuinely believe there's a man out there who is going to look at me and think that, oh, what did they find so difficult about this woman? There's a man out there who's going to look at me and think they just weren't willing to step up. And he will step up because I will be what he was looking for.
Okay, well, good luck. So now how many months you single? There's a man out there. Now how many months, man?
Yo, guys, I'm frequenting the wrong places, and that's why I am not finding a partner. I need to go into a specific space. I need to explore. I need to
join the dating side, mas.
No, I didn't. It didn't because yeah, that one is busy, ne? But the dating sites didn't work for me because a lot of the guys that I found there were, can I come to your place? Why do men seem to think that it's okay for them to ask to come to my place in a first date? Do you think that I trust you? Have we built a relationship of trust? I mean,
bafuna ukuthosa. Cabanga. First date. So bafuna ukuthosa. Angimangaza ukuthi wena Cheryl mawuthi labantu laba bayadina mabathi bafuna ukuza ku. Wawungamtsheli ukuthi but guy, ongisho uyambona esombeni muhle and ubone nama ibhayo yakho ukuthi I like movies, uthanda ama movie, I like music. Angisho before entertain usukubonile ukuthi amalooks anjani umuntu onjani yani picture nyana so it's simple wawungathi kuye guy angeke kuze kwami ngingakwazi
but isn't that common sense though? Isn't it common sense that you cannot expect
ama girls ay 3 before I meet wena ake athi can I come to your house but yes abay 3 ucabanga ukuthi ingqondo yakhe ayithi amantombazana shothi ayathanda ukuthi size kwabo yeah uyabona.
No, you must say. So what I'd appreciate is for him to say, how would you like us to meet? Where would you like us to go? If I say to you, feel free to come over to my place, then give me the option because I am the one who is in a more vulnerable place because I'm a woman. Give me the option of saying, let's meet at a public space because I don't know who you are. Don't just assume that just because the 3 said come to my place, Nami, you wanna say come to my place.
And abanye abafazi mina ngeke ngabizwa ugirl kwandoda. Ngingazi ukuthi kwandoda. Azangilale.
Wait.
Yo, ene kukude. So wethu line le. Mangifika. Hey, ngamgcina kudala labo ngobe sifunda sonke so Facebook what. Hey mangifika, hey une townhouse lihle. Yabo, mara kune PlayStation. Kunesithombe se-out ngathi la and angikhona ukubuya ke ngisho ngize ngetransport ngashiwa kusebusuku azangilala ngadlala PlayStation kwaze wasa ubrother sazongena ngilele angivusa sorry ebhuti ngathake angilali ngathakilali la Sharon so labantu sekafuna ukuza kwakwazi lapho ukuthi vuwakho or uneli kwakho
you know, can we do your
bafethu shelani kahle bafethu takela out for lunch nyana nibshaye nyana akaseka chips mhlamba ngasho ukuthi asiye kwakho or siye kwami kaningi lama out athi woza ngize kwakho usuke yena abaleke kwakhe ngoba uhlala nomuntu.
Yep. And that's the thing about the dating sites is you only get to see what is their face value.
Could be a lie.
Tunda swindler, guys.
Hey, ropa lo amfowethu lo. Awaba tosa. Ships and dips. Subscribe.
Thank you so much.